Right now, beneath every healthy plant in your garden, there's an invisible network more complex than the internet connecting your entire neighborhood. It's buying and selling nutrients, sending warning signals about pests, and literally deciding which plants live and which ones struggle. And here's the kicker. Most gardeners have accidentally killed it. I'm talking about fungi. Now, not the mushrooms that you see popping up after a rain, although those are a part of it, but the microscopic threads that form what scientists are now calling the Wood Wide Web. Clever. Today, I'm going to show you why fungi might be the most important organism in your garden that you're completely ignoring. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why adding fungi to your soil could be the difference between plants that merely survive and plants that absolutely thrive. Let's dig in. Okay, first things first, before you actually start sending me your hate comments, there are 3 acceptable ways to say fungi. There's fungi, fungi, or fungi. And really the only difference between the 3 is where you grew up. So whether you say fungi, fungi, or fungi, it's all good with me. But back to the garden. When I say fungi, I'm primarily talking about mycorrhizal fungi. These create symbiotic relationships with about 90% of all plant species on Earth. Here's how it works. Fungi grow these incredibly fine threads called hyphae. A single teaspoon of healthy soil contains several miles of these fungal threads. Think about that. Miles of biology in a single teaspoon. Now, your plant roots are actually pretty limited. They can only access nutrients within a few millimeters of the root surface. But fungal hyphae, they extend that reach by up to 1,000 times. According to research published in Nature by Suzanne Simard, these fungal networks can extend the effective rooting zone area of a plant by 700 times or more. Now here's where it gets wild. This is a two-way transaction. The plant gives the fungi sugars, about 20 to 30% of everything it makes through photosynthesis. In return, the fungi delivers phosphorus, nitrogen, water, and micronutrients that the plant could never access on its own. A study from the New Phytologist journal found that plants connected to mycorrhizal networks can access up to 80% more phosphorus from the soil than plants without these fungal partners. Now, that's not a small difference. That is transformative. But nutrient delivery is just the beginning. In 1997, Dr. Suzanne Simard made a discovery that changed how we understand plant communities. She found that trees in a forest weren't competing individuals, they were actually cooperating through a fungal network. These networks don't just connect one plant to fungi, they connect plant to plant to plant, creating an underground communication system. Here's what scientists have documented. When a plant gets attacked by, say, aphids, it can send chemical warning signals through the fungal network to neighboring plants. Those plants then boost their defense compounds before the aphids even arrive. Research published in Ecology Letters showed that bean plants under aphid attack warned neighboring plants through mycorrhizal networks, and those neighbors increased their aphid-repelling chemicals by up to 400%. Mother trees, the oldest, largest trees in a forest, use these networks to nurture their seedlings, sending them extra carbon and nutrients through the fungal highway. Simard's research found that mother trees can recognize their own kin and actually send them preferential treatment through that fungal network. Now, you might be thinking, oh, thanks, honey, that's cool for forests, but I actually have a vegetable garden. Here's the thing. Your tomatoes, peppers, squash, beans, most of your garden plants evolved with the same fungal partnerships. When you create conditions for fungi to thrive, you're not just feeding individual plants, you're building a community. Beyond feeding and communication, fungi are literally building better soil structure. Remember those hyphae threads that I mentioned? They produce a sticky protein called glomalin. Dr. Sarah Wright at the USDA discovered that glomalin acts like glue, binding soil particles together into aggregates. Now, aggregates are those crumbly chunks that you see in really good soil. This aggregation is critical. It creates pore spaces for air and water movement. It prevents erosion, and according to Wright's research, glomalin can account for up to 27% of the carbon in some soils. And it's one of the most stable forms of soil carbon, lasting for decades. Here's a number that should blow your mind. Research from the Soil Science Society of America estimates that arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi contribute approximately 5 billion tons of glomalin to soils worldwide every year. This fungal architecture also dramatically improves water retention. Studies show that mycorrhizal fungi can increase a plant's drought resistance by 30 to 40% by both extending the root system's reach and improving the soil structure to hold more water. In a world where water conservation is becoming critical, fungi are your garden's best drought insurance policy. Now, what if I'm telling you is resonating with you, then I am actually building an online community where like-minded people can go to discuss and learn about soil health, vermicomposting, composting, and gardening tips in general. So if this sounds like a community that you would like to join, I invite you to click on the link in the description that I've posted below. So if fungi are this important, why aren't our gardens naturally just filled with them? Well, because modern gardening and farming practices have systematically destroyed fungal networks. Practices like tilling and soil disturbance. Every time you till, you physically shred those miles of fungal hyphae. Research from the Journal of Applied Ecology shows that a single tilling event can reduce mycorrhizal colonization by 50 to 70%. And it can take years to recover. Another practice is synthetic fertilizer. When you dump high nitrogen synthetic fertilizers onto soil, plants, they just get lazy. I mean, why trade 20 to 30% of their sugars to fungi when free nitrogen is available? A study in the Journal of Science found that chronic nitrogen addition reduced mycorrhizal colonization by up to 60% in the grassland ecosystems. Fungicides and broad-spectrum pesticides are also depleting fungal networks. These don't discriminate. They kill the bad and the good fungi. Research published in Applied Soil Ecology demonstrated that common fungicides can reduce beneficial mycorrhizal fungi by 40 to 90%, depending on the chemical used. Bare soils and monocultures are also another culprit. Fungi need living roots to survive. When soils sit bare between seasons, or when we grow the same crop repeatedly, we are starving the fungal networks. Look, when I first learned this, I realized I'd been accidentally sabotaging my garden for years. Every spring, I tilled my beds. I thought I was preparing them. I was actually destroying the most valuable asset in the soil. But there is good news. Fungi are resilient and you can rebuild these networks. Use no-till or minimal disturbance methods. Build your beds once and maintain them. Your fungi will thank you. Also, fungi love woody materials. Wood chips as mulch, composted wood debris, and lignite-rich organic matter all feed fungal populations. Research from Washington State University shows that wood chip mulch can increase mycorrhizal colonization by 200 to 300% over several years. You can use mycorrhizal inoculants. When planting, especially in degraded soils, add mycorrhizal inoculant directly to the root zone. Products containing species like Glomus intraradices have shown 40 to 60% improvements in plant establishments through multiple studies. You can keep living roots in the soil. Use cover crops, practice succession planting, and minimize bare soil periods. The fungi feed off of those roots year-round. You can reduce or eliminate synthetic inputs. By transitioning to organic fertilizers like compost or worm castings, that helps release nutrients slowly, encouraging plants to maintain their fungal partnerships. A healthy soil is incredibly complex, and today we've only scratched the surface of one of the members, the fungi. But what a member it is! When you support fungi in your garden, you're not just growing plants, you're cultivating an entire ecosystem underground. building soil that gets better every year, and tapping into billions of years of evolutionary partnership. So if you found this valuable, hit that subscribe button, because we're building a community of gardeners who want to work with nature, not against it. And drop a comment below. How do you pronounce fungi, and where are you from? Okay, the video's over now. You should be out there feeding your fungi. Your soil is waiting for you.